Here we go. So let's look at Schoology today because today is a little different, okay? So let me repeat, today is different, all right? So first of all, I'm gonna go over two-step equations one last time with you today. After we do that, you are going to watch the two-step equation part 2 video. So here's the link to watch the video. It is 11 minutes long, and take notes. Notice how it says, do not use Kami today. So guys, when you're solving equations, it's really hard to use Kami because you have numbers everywhere. So either write notes on the notebook paper or print them out. So let me show you what I mean. Hey guys, it's just a bunch of questions, right? If you're trying to like write all this stuff with numbers everywhere on Kami, it's a little confusing and it's a little bit difficult, okay? So maybe what you should do instead, because it's just problems, is just write it on notebook paper and then you're fine. This is Miss Johnson. She also teaches 8th grade math at Hudson Bend. I think she only goes over like 7 questions. So again, it's pretty short. It's 11 minutes and 33 seconds long, all right? After you do that, you do not need to submit your notes on Schoology, but this is what you do need to do, okay? This says complete Schoology quiz, two-step equations. Do you see how there's a link right here? Two-step equation quiz. So you're gonna take a two-step equation quiz. It's not a quiz grade, it's a daily grade, but it is literally, guys, 5 questions long, okay? You're answering 5 questions for homework. That is not very much to ask at all. Okay, notice how it says that it is due by the end of the day. So it is due tonight at 11:59 p.m. and it is a daily grade. So now that we have been in school for, this is now our 5th week of school, we need to have some deadlines. Before it was kind of like, this is new. Okay, sure, turn it in late. Okay, turn it in a week late. As long as you get it done, that's fine. From now on, guys, we have deadlines, all right? So if you want a grade for it, and not a 0, please turn it in on time. And then if you turn it in late, then it's going to be a maximum of a 70, just like how it would be if you were in normal school. Okay, so please make sure that you realize that you're turning it in, this thing, two-step equations quiz. It's just a daily grade, but you are going to be turning it in by 11:59 p.m. tonight. Okay. The last thing I want to tell you is I'm really, really hoping that you guys are checking skyward and looking at your own grades and seeing how you are doing. Because if you see zeros or if you see missings, you know that you need to take care of your business, okay? Your teachers are just as frazzled as you are right now. So I'm telling you right now, if I put a grade in the grade book, I'm not going to look every single day to see if you've turned in that grade late, okay? I will change the grades in the grade book if you email me and tell me, hey, Ms. Friedenthal, I did it. Will you please give me a late grade? You need to be responsible for your own education now, okay? Especially since and your teachers have a million things going on, and I have 150 students, right? I can't look at every single grade for every single day since the beginning of the school year to see if you finally turned in something. So email me, let me know, and I'll update the grade book that day, but you need to tell me. So you have to go check grade books yourself, okay? All right, let's do this. Please, you should hopefully have something to write with and a paper. If not, I will wait 30 seconds. Go grab a pencil and a paper, a pen and a paper, a marker and a paper, your blood. I don't care. Just have something to write with. Just kidding. Don't use your blood. I actually had a kid one year. Totally side note. Sorry. He was like, oh, she said use your blood. Okay, I'm going to show her. So he had a scab on his like arm or whatever. I don't know where he had it. But so he broke open the scab so that it would start bleeding again. And then he took his mechanical pencil and dipped the lead into his blood of his scab to write with blood. I mean, it wasn't like, super red, but it was just like the tiniest like tracings of blood. And it was the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen. I was like, oh my gosh. So, good times, good times. Please don't take me literally when I say that. Okay, so all of you have something to write with. We are going to go over 6 practice problems and then we are done. Same concept as yesterday, but I really just want to make sure that we understand this because tomorrow we are doing brand new math. You are not going to understand how to do tomorrow if you don't understand how to do today. So please make sure that you pay attention, ask questions, Stay after the hangout if you still have anything that you want to go over. I'm happy to go over anything with you. Okay. All right. So first question, please write this down. 9x minus 8 equals 37. 9x minus 8 equals 37. I decided to use blue paper today because it is so cloudy and dreary outside. I feel like we need a pop of happiness. Okay, so first thing, draw your line down the equal sign. Now remember, I need to move two numbers that are on the same side as x. So first of all, can someone shout out or type, what are the two numbers that I eventually need to move? Sydney, go. 8 and 9. Do you see how the 8 and the 9 are on the same side as x? So those are the two numbers that you need to move. Okay, but there's an order. I can't just, choose one, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and do it. There's a specific order. Does anyone know which one I have to do first? The 8. Thank you, guys. Okay, so I have to drop down the 8 first. The reason why I'm dropping down the 8 first, and that's the only correct answer, is because I want to do the adding and subtracting one first. You see how this is minus 8? So that's the adding and subtracting one. So that's the one I do first. If that doesn't make sense to you, then think about it this way. Do the one that's not connected to the x. This is not connected to the x. The 9 is connected, but this is not connected. So do that one first. All right. So how do I move this 8? Add, subtract, multiply, divide.
Add.
Thank you. Good job. We're adding. The reason why we're adding is because, look, it says minus 8. Opposite of minus 8 is plus 8. So that cancels out because minus 8 plus 8 is 0. So now I have 9x. I have equals 37 plus 8. Use your calculator. Okay, that's why you have them this year. There's no shame in using your calculator. It's 45. So now remember, this is your new problem. You can essentially ignore everything that's above. This is your new problem. Now, we said we had to move the 9, so let's move the 9. Can anyone say it? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Good, divide, because it's 9x. Well, if you don't see a symbol, it's times. So opposite of times is divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 9. So left over, I have x. I have equals 45 divided by 9. If you're not sure, use your calculator. There is no shame. It is 5. Okay, and remember, you can always double check your answer. So let me plug it into the beginning question. 9 times x, we said x was 5, minus 8, does it equal 37? Dun, 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 dun. Yes, it does. So I know I got it right. Yay. I hope this kind of rings a bell. This is what we went over yesterday. By the way, if you haven't said hi in the chat yet, can you please say hi in the chat? Okay, let's do one slightly more difficult. 4 plus 5x. No, sorry, I'm going to change it. Negative 4. Negative 4 plus 5x equals 64. Negative 4 plus 5x equals 64. So I'm hoping that all of you can recognize first, it's the 4 and the 5 that need to be moved, right? The 4 and the 5 are the two numbers that are on the same side as x. So someone that has not spoken yet, can you please tell us what is the number, the 4 or the 5 that I dropped down first?
Taylor says 4.
Thank you. Good job, girl. Okay. You're doing the one that's not connected to the x. Negative 4 is not connected to the x, so that's what I'm dropping down. You're doing the adding and subtracting one. Okay. Look at it carefully. Add, subtract, multiply, or divide this 4, guys.
Jose says divide the 4.
Okay, so if we divide, 4 divided by 4 is 1. I get 1 left over on this side. I don't want 1 because I want x by itself. I want nothing. Add, that's right. And do you see why we add? Because you always look at the symbol right before. It's a negative 4. Opposite of a negative is a positive. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Okay, so I have 5x. I have equals. I have 68. Now what, guys?
It says divide 5.
Yay, because it's 5 times x, right? Opposite of times is divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So I have x. I have equals 68 divided by 5. Does not ring a bell in my head. So use your calculator. 13.6. It's a decimal. That's okay. I never said we wouldn't have decimals as answers, right? I've been trying to give you easy numbers to work with, but you're going to get to the point where there will be fractions and decimals in your problem, but do not be afraid because you have a calculator. You will be okay. And remember, you can always double check your answer in your calculator by plugging it back into the first one. Okay? Okay, let's go over 3 more questions. I'm going to make it even more complicated now. And the reason why it's more complicated is because now we have more negatives. The negatives always just screw us up. So let's practice them, okay? Let's say I have negative 5x minus 12 equals 43. So negative 5x minus 12 equals 43. Someone that has not spoken yet, what's the first number that I drop down? Well, thank you to whoever said that. Yes, because look, it's the number not connected to the x. It's the adding and subtracting one. It's the one that's farthest away from the x. The 12. I know I have to move the 5 and the 12, but I do move the 12 first. Let's move the 12. All right. Add, subtract, multiply, divide the 12. Add. Good job, because it's minus, right? Opposite of minus, look at the symbol right before is plus. So I'm going to plus 12 on both sides. That's why it disappears. So it looks like I have negative 5x. I have an equals. I have 55. Okay. I think that I'm hoping that the next step is obvious. I divide. But here's the not obvious question. Do I divide by positive 5 or negative 5? Negative. Good job, Sydney. You have to divide by a negative 5. The reason why you're dividing by a negative 5 and not a positive 5 is because remember, when you multiply and divide, the symbols don't change. Okay, when you multiply and divide on both sides, you keep that symbol because negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1 and 1x is just 1. Or 1x is just x, sorry. So I have x equals negative 11. And remember, you can always double check it in your calculator. So if I wanted to double check negative 5 times x we said was negative 11, minus 12, dun, 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 it equals 43. So I know I got it right. Okay. I'm going to give you one last difficult one before I really rock your world. And maybe I don't. Maybe you're just like, I already know this. But hey, I'd rather you know this than for you to be like, I'm so lost. Okay, so one more hard one before you get just a tricky one. Okay, let's do this. Let's see. 12 minus 5x equals 40. 12 minus 5x equals 40. Okay, someone that has not spoken yet. What's the first number to drop?
Valeria says 12.
Woohoo! You dropped down the 12. Good job. The reason why you dropped the 12 is because it is on the same side as x. So you know you have to drop the 12 and the 5 at some point. The 12 goes first because it's the adding and subtracting one, or you can say that it's the farthest away from the x, or you can say it's the one that's not connected to the x. Okay, harder question. Add, subtract, multiply, divide the 12.
Somebody says add, Jose.
Any other takers? Do we agree or disagree? How do I move this 12? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide? You subtract. So this one you actually subtract.
Now people are saying subtract.
Right. So you always look at the symbol right before. Who cares about this subtract? I don't care. That has nothing to do with the 12. Right? Look at this 12. Right before, I don't see a symbol. If I don't see a symbol, it's an imaginary positive. So opposite of positive is a negative, and negative is the same thing as saying minus. So I'm actually going to minus 12 on both sides. So left over, I have 5x, I have equals, and I have 28. Oh, wait, shoot. I did something wrong. I forgot to write something. What did I forget? The negative for what? You're right, but where does the negative go?
-5.
Yes, thank you. It's not a 5, silly rabbit. It's not a 5 that drops down. Look at what's right before. It's a -5. So -5 gets dropped down. Okay, always make sure you keep the symbol before, always. Okay, so now when I divide, I'm hoping you realize I divide by -5 because when I multiply and divide on both sides, the symbol stays the same. 5x equals 28 divided by -5. I get -5.6. That's okay. Decimal. No biggie. We have a calculator. Okay, last one. This one looks completely different. It's harder because it's like a different situation. You haven't seen this situation yet. X over -2 plus 14 equals 10. You haven't seen a question like that before, but it's the same concept. You still, have to move two numbers. There's still one number that you have to drop down first. So let's try that. Okay. Last chance, guys. Last chance to show me your chops. What's the first number that I have to drop down?
It says bring down 14.
Oh, yes. Bring down 14. Good job. Right? And the reason why is because it's the number not connected to the x. It's the number farthest away from the x. It's the number that's doing the adding and subtracting. So what do? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide the 14.
Subtract.
Subtract. Good job, because it's plus 14. Right? Opposite of plus 14 is minus 14. So I still have x over -2 left over equals 10 minus 14. Use your calculator, okay? You don't have to use your brain. I mean, obviously use your brain to figure out how to solve it, but use your calculator for the computation of it. Okay, it's -4. Here's my new problem. I know that -2 still needs to move to the other side. We've been dividing yesterday and today. I'm not dividing the -2 today. Does anyone think they know what to do instead? Sydney, go. Multiply. Because look, it's x divided by -2. What's opposite of divide and multiply? So please don't be tricked. Don't think that you're just doing the same thing over and over and over. You're not a robot, okay? So just look at the problem. Opposite of divide is multiply. That's why I'm multiplying it by -2, which gives me +8. And I can still double check my answers. Okay, so let me plug it back in the original problem. I have a fraction, so alpha y equals enter. X we said was 8 over -2 on the bottom. Get out of the fraction plus 14. I should get 10, so I know I'm good. Okay, so one more time because today is a little bit different. What are we doing? You're going to take your attendance. Don't forget how to do that. Okay. You're going to click these notes and print them out if you have a printer. If not, then just use notebook paper. Okay. Watch the video. It is 11 minutes long. After you watch the video, the most important thing today is to do that 5-question quiz. It's just a 5-question daily grade. That's it. Okay. 5 questions, daily grade. That's it. But it has to be done tonight if you want full credit. If you want a late grade, then you can turn it in late, but why, right? Give yourself the extra 30 points. So do the quiz, turn it in, and then you're good.